In this video, I want to help you fix your bots. You probably read the manual, went through the rules, set up markets auto-loading, and you're sure everything is working, but the bots don't place their bets. What can you do? Well, I recommend, first of course, you use simulation mode, never try to fix bots in real mode, and second, to look at the reports tab of that bot. When a bot is running, we can show the tab and look in the reports tab, and we can see in the description here why it is not placing bets. And this is our most important tool for finding out why it's not placing bets. In the reports tab, we can see what rules are stopping it from placing bets, and we can remove or edit those rules until the bot places bets. Once we find out which rule was the main problem, then we can adjust the previously removed rules so that the bot works better. Other ideas to help in your troubleshooting are to use a second instance of BFBot Manager. So you can only run one BFBot Manager instance on one computer. I know some of us want to run some bots in real mode and some bots in simulation mode, but BFBot Manager can only run in simulation mode or real mode. So it's good to have one computer for your real mode betting that's always running, that you can leave and just let go, and a second computer that you can run in simulation mode for creating new bots, editing bots, and troubleshooting. And when you're troubleshooting, even if your bot is meant to bet on football, because we're just trying to see if the bot will actually run, and maybe it's the hedge rules or the after bet rules that you're worried about, or you're not sure how the staking plan is working, then it's okay to add more events and markets that are not actually connected to the bot you're trying to run. So you can add greyhounds and tennis and horses, just so you have some markets for the bot to actually work with. Once the bot is working the way you want it to, then you can filter down to the events and markets that you want. But when we're troubleshooting, you want to give it access to as many events and markets as possible so that it can trigger the bot to work, and you can analyze the rules and functions that you're worried about to make sure they are working as you want. Another thing you should do is change the monitoring time. That is here in the tools and settings, monitoring settings. And when you're doing troubleshooting, it can be good to give it access to lots of markets. So like markets 9 hours in the future, 24 hours in the future. Again, this is so that it has lots of markets that it can act upon and be triggered by. Of course, ordinarily when you're running the software, you will probably want to have it monitoring markets from 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours out. Monitoring too many markets can slow down the software and make it unstable. But in the case of troubleshooting, when we just have one bot and we're trying to work out what's wrong with it, then it can be useful to be monitoring as many markets as possible. If you are trying to run complicated hedge or trade out rules, then it might be useful to limit the number of bets that it can place. This means that when it does get triggered by a market, it'll just place one bet on that market, and then you can focus on that one bet and see what it does. And then once you've found out which rules are affecting your bot the most, you can run duplicates with rule variations and leave that to go for 24 hours to see how the different duplicates work, how the staking plans work, and if they're working in the way you want it to work. But the key simple part of troubleshooting is to look at the reports tab and to remove or edit rules until your bot places bets, and then you can check that it is functioning the way you want it to function. Let's look at an example of this. People often send me bots to ask me why isn't it working, which is why I've made this video. And recently somebody sent me a bot, and it's quite a clever bot actually. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work. I'm sorry to the person who made it, and I told him that, but which is one of the reasons why he's letting me share it now. I've asked him for permission to share this for the purposes of this video. But basically, the idea behind the bot was to have a bot that placed lay bets on all the horses in certain races that he has specific filters for, and place lay bets at odds of 1.9. So when the odds hit 1.9, it will place a bet. The idea being that during a race in play, the favorite will switch between 1 or 2 or 3 horses. And if you can lay 2 or more horses at 1.9, then you're guaranteed a profit. But the problem was that the bot didn't seem to be working. He set up the bot, he let it run for a couple of days, and there were no bets. So he asked me to have a look at it. So I have that bot here, and the first thing to do is to make sure we're in simulation mode. Here we are, simulation mode, that's fine there. You can switch between simulation mode and real mode in the home screen. Then next we're going to look at the reports tab. So we start the bot, look at the reports, and I'm getting messages here, time to bet, and market filters. Now, as I said, I think when you're troubleshooting, it's important to add more events and markets, and also to change the monitoring time. I think these are two things that are very useful to increase the chances of finding out what the problem is. Because right now it's 9:20 in the morning and there's not a lot of events available for this bot. So I'm going to add in all the horse races, all the greyhound races, all the football matches for the coming day. I'm going to put in some tennis matches, even basketball matches, so that I now have lots of markets that are in play, those green ones here, and markets coming up that are in yellow. And I also want to increase my market monitoring settings from 50 minutes to something longer. So right now I've only got events up to 10 past 10 being monitored here. That's not very many. So I'm going to increase that monitoring to 10 hours. So that gives a lot more markets for the bot to check and be triggered by. So I've got more events and markets. I've changed the monitoring time. So since I want it to look at a lot of markets, I'm going to remove this markets filter. I'll put it back later, but for now, I just want the bot to work. I don't care that it's working on horse win events. I just want it to work. So I'm going to remove the markets filter rule and also the events filter rule. So now this bot is looking at every single market available at the moment. And if I look at the reports tab, I can see we've got time to bet problems and overround problems. Okay. So first I'm going to look at the time to bet one, because the time to bet is currently set up to 3 minutes before the event starts and to keep betting 60 minutes in play. And first of all, I just want to see if it will place bets. The first thing I want to know is how can I make it place bets? So let's take away this time to bet and look at the reports. And now we're seeing that overrounds is the main issue we're getting here. And also selections does not match min-max selection price. Okay, well, let's look at the overrounds. The overrounds rule is set to the default at the moment, and I'm going to remove that. Again, I'm trying to get to the stage where it actually places bets. And I can see it's actually placed a bet here. This is the unmatched matched column, and this is telling me now that it's placed some bets here. If you can't see this unmatched matched rule, then you need to right click on any column header, choose column chooser, and then here you will see this unmatched matched option here. So in my unmatched match column, I can see it's starting to place lots of bets. So it's working. This strategy is able to place bets. So from that, I know that this bet type and this min-max selection price rule is okay. It's working there. So now I know it can place bets. I can see it placing bets. I want to see if it's working the way it's supposed to work. So the marking conditions we can add back in later, the marking conditions and the overrounds. What it's supposed to be doing is it bets on the favorite, it lays the favorite, and multiple bets are allowed per favorite position. So during in play, as the favorite changes in a horse race, maybe runner number 1 was the favorite, then runner number 2 becomes the favorite when it gets ahead, it should be able to place multiple bets per favorite position. So it can have 2 bets on the first favorite, but on different horses. With the main rules for this strategy, the max number of bets per runner is 1, and that's good. That's what we want. So for each runner, like horse number 1, horse number 2, it can only bet once if it becomes the favorite at some point during the race. And we can see here that the number of bets per market is 20, but I don't think we're going to be betting in many horse races with more than 20 horses. So it should somewhere be placing more than 1 bet on markets. And it will place bets when the lay price for a runner is within the price range of 1.88 to 1.9. It's a very narrow band, but that's what we're looking for. And we can see it's been placing those bets, but I don't see any bets on the same market. That's the next thing I want to check. So when in the markets area, when I see the dark green background, I know it's placed a bet. Only 1 bet on this market, only 1 bet on this market. That's tennis. Only 1 bet on this market. That's basketball. Basketball does have a lot of swinging between favorites, back and forth, as one team goes ahead. Only 1 bet on that market. These games are not in play yet, so there won't be much swinging going on there. So I'm interested in this match that's still going on here, this basketball game, because that might have swinging going on. Our bet was placed on Cimarrones del Choco. And we can just hear now that Caribbean Storm Islands are now the favorite. They've swung back. So really it should be placing a second bet here. It swung and look, there was a last price match at 1.9. So Choco was the favorite and then Caribbean Storm Islands became the favorite. So we should have had two bets there, but we haven't. And why has that happened? So now we have a market where I think it should be betting. And look, quite definitely run number 2 is now the favorite. So what I want to do now is in the reports tab, I want to isolate that event so I can see just the reports from that event. So that event is this Del Choco and Storm Island. So in the reports tab, I can right click at the top and click show auto filter row. And for market name, I'm just going to put Choco in. Will it come up? Oh, there it is. It's come up there, the Storm Islands one, yeah. And the last time it considered placing a bet, 958.32, 40 seconds ago, it said selections or market does not satisfy min-max selection price condition rule. If I go to Betfair itself and take a look at the market data, we can see that El Choco was the favorite and then Storm Islands was the favorite, and there were bets placed at 1.9. Oh, there it is. It's placed the second bet. Okay. So here we can see that the bot is working. This setup of bet type on runner with favorite position 1 is lay. Multiple bets are allowed per favorite position. That does allow it to place more than one bet on the first favorite. And it's done that. So this bot does appear to be working. But one thing we did notice just before then is that even though the odds were below 1.9, it wasn't placing that lay bet when we really wanted it to. And we should think, well, why is that happening? And I think it's this min-max selection price that's holding it back. I'm going to remove this thing now. And we can see that this min-max selection price is often coming up as one of the reasons, and also the back and lay price ratio. I'm going to remove the back and lay price ratio because we can put that back in anytime. And then we look at the reports, we see it's basically the min-max selection price that's holding it back. That's what's stopping it from betting. And the thing is, with this min-max selection price of 1.88 to 1.9, it's very slim. So it's waiting for this pink number to be 1.88 or 1.9. So if it suddenly drops from 2.3 to 1.67, it will not bet, or 1.87, it will not bet because it's waiting for the number 1.88 to 1.9. So if the target for this bot is to bet at odds of 1.9 or less, because we want to lay two favorites in a game to guarantee profit, then I don't think we should limit ourselves to the 1.9, but actually we should allow all odds up to 1.9. So I would actually change this to 1.01 to 1.9. Or maybe 1.1 might be safer, but I'm going to go for 1.01 to 1.9. And if we do that, let's see what happens on this report tab. We're going to see a lot more bets being placed now. Look, there's a lot more bets coming in now. So I think it was that rule, that min-max price rule, that was really holding back this bot from placing the bets it wanted to. And so I think now we're going to see a lot more double bets. Here I can use column, choose unmatched matched, and this will tell me how many bets we've got on. So we've got 2 bets there, 1 bet, 2 bets. These are 1, 1, 1. Just lots of single bets there. So this handy column can tell me when there's 2 bets here, 2 matched bets there. These are all just 1 bet on there. So in this way, what we did was to let this bot bet on any event, because we just want to check the function works. And then we looked in the reports tab and we removed rules that were stopping it, the time to bet, the over rounds, the min-max, backlay ratio. We got down to one that we think was the main problem, which is the min-max selection price, and we've now adjusted that, and it's placed 65 bets now. That looks to be working okay to me, and we know functionally it will place bets on 2 favorites in 1 market. That's good. You can see it swung back again on this side here. So I think this bot works now. I think you can leave it going like that. And so what you would want to do again is then put back those other rules. So we want to put back in that back and lay price ratio. We're going to put back the over rounds. And you want to put back your events filter and put back your markets filter. And we see we're getting back, yeah, the events and the over round is stopping it from betting there. So there we looked at the reports tab to see what was preventing it betting. We removed rules that we are very confident about. So we know about the time to bet, we know about the over rounds and the backlay ratio. Those are pretty basic rules. We were worried whether it was going to bet on the favorite twice in one event or not, and it did that. And we discovered that it was the price rules that were stopping it betting when we wanted it to actually bet. So we adjusted those previously removed rules. And to have more data when we're trying to fix it, I added more events and markets, and I changed the monitoring time. Once you've fixed it, then you might want to duplicate and run it again with your old version and your new version, and maybe with some rule variations in between, and then leave that going on your computer for 24 hours to see how it works, see if it operates the way you expect it to do, and it gives you a vague idea of whether it may be profitable or may not be profitable. And this is basically the simple way that I try to troubleshoot bots. Hopefully you can take this method and apply it to your bots and figure out which rules are stopping your bot from working properly. And also you can see how your bot functions. If you're still having trouble with your bots, I do offer a BF Bot Manager support service. You can get 1 month of email support for £100 a month. That's on my bettingsystemsguide.com page. It's cheaper per month if you go for a longer subscription, so you can get it as cheap as £70 a month if you go for a 1-year subscription. And with that subscription, you get email support for setting up and using the BF Bot Manager software. I'll help you with your bots. But you'll also get the data feed from my tipping sports accounts, BSG00 and BSG200. They are my betting systems that are doing very well at the moment. So you'll get that as part of the pack. You'll also get PDF copies of my 3 betting books, including the staking plans book. And you'll also get email support for the other tools that I recommend on my site. But the one most people have trouble with is the BF Bot Manager. So you can get email support from me to help you with your bots. And if you want a one-to-one session, I do offer Skype sessions, 60 minutes for £60. I can either give you a training session or we can do screen sharing so I can show you how to use the functions while you're looking at them, or we can talk together. I can custom build a bot for you whilst you're watching and we can talk about the options then and there, or I can just answer your questions as a veteran BF Bot Manager user. Please email me to make an appointment for that at bettingsystemsguide.com. If you're interested in big data betting and automated betting, don't forget to like and subscribe to bettingsystemsguide.com, and do take a look at my website where I have all my recommended betting systems and tools. So I hope this video gave you an idea of how to try and fix your bots, to go through those troubleshooting steps, and if you still can't fix it, then give me an email. Thank you for watching.